We are in eclipse season, so I want to take this opportunity to unpack why eclipses are so powerful for our growth game and as part of the quantum leaps that become possible and available. Also, in the context of these being cosmic amplifiers for a phenomenon that's actually always already taking place. Eclipse season happens every 6 months, but there is an every 6 month connection that is actually always cycling through that I want to speak to so that we have a more grounded understanding of and foundation around what this very real phenomenon is that you are invited to over and over to participate in connecting with your intentions. And we're given an opportunity to somehow show up differently, to think a new thought, to create space for a new belief, to change a habit or bring someone new into the mix, to eliminate someone or something from the mix, something that helps to reconcile a tension that we're aware of between our actual reality and the intention that we are seeding, the change that we are trying to make or call in. Ultimately, delivering us to that full moon, full expression. So the full moon ends up being this two-parter where we are both able to fully see the illumination of the revealing of what's in the way. What do we need to really let go of? What's that bigger picture of the scope of what we need to let go of, create more space around to really be able to make room for what we're calling in. And it's also a celebration of what we've been able to manifest and materialize so far. So taking an opportunity, taking a moment both to celebrate what we've been able to cultivate so far in that area of our life, and also to acknowledge what we need to let go of and bring awareness to what we need to sacrifice and surrender to be able to create more space for what we want. And then we have the waning half of the cycle where then we are able to have more access to our intuition, coming back to our inner world again, our reflective capacity to get even more clear what our intention is. So whereas on the waxing half of the cycle, it's more becoming aware of externally manifest in our reality what might be in the way. On the other side, as we're coming back around, we become aware of more of the internal landscape of what might be in the way and what needs to shift and change and morph and adapt so that our intention becomes even more refined and even more aligned with what we truly want. Okay, so we have this cycle playing out every month, right? Every month we have a new moon and a full moon, and we're constantly rotating between that new moon opportunity to seed new intentions and that full moon revealing of what's in the way and what we've manifested so far. And then back to the drawing board of refining our intentions and creating more space and more celebration around the things that we've been able to accomplish so far. And then to bring in the 6 month leap that happens, this is where I like to call it set it and forget it when we set an intention. First, we have that 2 weeks to set it. And a big part of that is becoming aware of the full scope and full territory that we are setting that intention into that includes its opposite. And then the forget it part of the equation happens when we then move on to another cycle, right? Consciously, we move on, which means that That last intention that we set goes into the realm of the unconscious. We forget about it. We set it, we planted it, we seeded it, and now it's just part of our garden that we're going to be watering. And then over the course of 6 months, we make our way to what will be the full moon expression in the actual part of the sky that we set that intention into. But there is also a cycling through, though, where more precise alignment happens twice a year. So we have every 6 months an eclipse window where the alignment is even more precise. And so it's like this sprinkling of extra cosmic alignment, like cosmic amplification, where it is that part of the sky, that area of our lives turn to experience a volume turn up, a quantum leap possibility in that area of the sky, in that part of our life where we set that intention into. So it is like a supercharged pass at the growth potential of that part of the sky, that part of your life. When I say quantum, right, it's like straying from the linear growth potential, the linear arc of what's possible, and making 3-pointers possible, where it's like over here, now we're all the way over there. Bigger leaps of growth are possible that don't make linear connected sense. We're able to take much bigger leaps. So a lunar eclipse is like a full moon. It's that extra aligned full moon, and a solar eclipse is a version of a new moon, that extra aligned new moon. By the way, if this is not a practice that you engage yet, go to cosmicbee.link/new moon. You will always find the most recent new moon to set your intentions around. It's okay if you're a little bit late or early. Start where you are and then make it a habit and a practice. Once you go and do it once, you'll be reminded to do it every month. And then, of course, be reminded of that intention you set on the full moons to be able to go and reflect back on the ways that it's taken root, taken shape, taken hold in your life. And this is happening all the time. But with eclipses, we're even more likely to notice and realize, if you take a moment to pay attention, what shifted, because often what shifted is so much bigger than it would have been if it wasn't being amplified by the cosmic eclipse factor. So I hope that you're able to make a connection that truly blows your mind and positions you to want to double down and lean in further on these every 6-month windows, this lunar manifestation cycle where you take a moment, it doesn't take long, to set your intention on the new moon so that on the full moon, I can remind you of what that intention was, and you can continue to play a more intentional, more grounded, more powerfully connected role in the co-creative process that is your growth through the connection from each new moon to each full moon and the 6-month quantum leaps that are available to you in between.